Technology on the move.
Look up and down, here and there, even side to side, and you will see the vast amount of technology in the world that we live in today. It is incorporated into the majority of our typical daily tasks and has become a huge influence in educational classrooms around the world. When discussing the history of technology in the classroom, one cannot fail to mention the computer. If you were a child growing up in the 60s or even earlier, you may not have used such a contraption in the classroom. No form of a computer was in sight. It was not until 1970 that the first microcomputer was introduced into the classroom. At this point in time, however, the only computers in school were used for management purposes. They were not for student use, let alone learning. They were not yet viewed as a tool for students to learn.
In the 1980s, there was a gradual move towards students using computers. The computers were set up in a lab-like setting. Educators at this time had little to no training with the use of computers. Therefore, there was not an emphasis placed upon students utilizing computers.
In the 1990s, the creation of the internet put pressure on schools to incorporate computers within the classroom. There was a huge push for schools to get connected. At the height of the presidential campaign in 1996, President Bill Clinton and Vice President Al Gore repeatedly expressed their intention to make the internet available in every classroom. President Bill Clinton said, "I want to see the day when computers are as much a part of the classroom as chalkboards."
As we dwell in deeper, we will see that the issue of technology in the classroom can be viewed from the angle of the government, the educators, and lastly, the students.
The local and federal governments are at the root of our education system. They determine how much money a school district gets for educational technology tools, therefore impacting in a large way what forms of technology enter the classroom and how advanced and expensive they can be. The amount of computers per school varies between districts.
Another role in the progress of technology in the classroom is the attitudes of educators and principals. Those who are not ready to make the change will not incorporate it into their schools and classrooms, and thus negatively impacts the forward movement of technology in the classroom. Parents and teachers need to observe children in what they actually do and try to understand that this generation will live in a different world for which new skills, attitudes, and behaviors are compulsory.
Another role that influences technology, and probably the most important, is the students. As the demands of the 21st century learner are changing, it impacts the way educators look at displaying information to students and how students learn. Students today learn differently than students 20 years ago. Students need to be interested and not be bored in school, which is too often the case today.
The advancement is like wildfire, and technology is now becoming a visible part of children's lives. In the current trends, a national survey taken by the Kaiser Family Foundation has shown that of over 1,000 children that are from the ages 2 to 7, about 62% have computers at home. This is quite revealing of the importance that parents are placing on the role of computers in education.
In fact, according to the National School Boards Foundation, parents said that the main reason a computer was bought for the home was to aid in their children's education. It may even be noted that schools are now being compared on the basis of student-to-computer ratio. The ability of schools to provide education with technology involvement seems to be a judgment of how high quality their education program is. The effects of using computers in the classroom on students is usually correlated with positive results. In a study done by Jay Kulik in 1994, he found that students who are receiving instruction with the use of computers have better achievement outcomes.
Some evidence shows that the use of computers in the classroom boosts self-esteem and classroom behavior. It can also lead to a better classroom dynamic with more interaction between students and teachers.
The future of technology within the classroom might send your jaw dropping to the floor and your hands to your cheekbones. You may ask yourself, what does a learning environment that embraces new technologies even look like? As future teachers, we will need to constantly be addressing and readdressing this question by continuing to stay aware of what is upcoming on the technological front so that we may prepare our students for the jobs that they will be having by the time that they are submerged into this fast-growing cyberspace culture. To answer this question, let's view a few more of the uprising technologies.
One of the most notable is the smartboard. It is an interactive electronic whiteboard which can enhance instruction and learning. Its popularity is gaining momentum as teachers, students, parents, and school board members alike are taking notice of its magnificent capabilities. At the simplest level, a smartboard acts as a touchscreen. that is set up for an instructor to use his or her finger as a computer mouse. As with all technology, it is how the smartboard is able to be utilized which opens up such a broad spectrum of interactive learning in the classroom. It can be used for digital storytelling, reinforce skills by using online interactive websites, doing lessons in math and vocabulary, and so much more. It is overall a great tool to keep the students engaged and excited about learning. Lessons come to life.
Another technology that may soon be incorporated into the learning environment is something called Siftables, created by MIT graduate David Merrill. They are small interactive squares that are able to share information with each other instantly. Merrill compares them to building blocks that you might have played with as a child. They are a great way to encourage quick problem solving, help students understand math facts, and so much more.
Another exciting technology that may be making its way into our classrooms is the use of 3D imaging as a learning device. According to ViewSonic and common retailer projectors, we should expect to see 3D visualization in the mainstream as more 3D content becomes available.
Technology is something that should be on all of our minds as future teachers. We must stay aware and cognitive of the new technologies that are arising in order to prepare our students to become functional in a world that is ever-changing and advancing in technological concepts.
There are numerous pros in the use of technology in the classroom. It can be utilized to enhance the learning process by making topics more manageable and easier to cover. It is able to aid students in digesting complex information. Technology can reduce the time spent trying to convey details, making larger points easier. Also, more and more traditional careers require more extensive use of technology, and exposure to technology helps prepare students for this reality.
In a debate about the pros and cons of technology in the classroom, Larry Cuban says, "I believe quality education can be enhanced by technology. It is not defined by it." He makes a valid point. In our current economic system, is it feasible to incorporate technology into every classroom? Computers are expensive and funding is tight. According to the Teachers' Retirement System of the state of Illinois, Tier 2 teachers and administrators have to be 67 years old and have accumulated 10 years of service credits in order to qualify for full benefits that a member has earned. The money is just not there.
Personally, we believe that technology is a rich tool if used in good measure. There must be a balance in how often we use it within our classroom, as we don't want to be 100% dependent on everything it entails. If a power outage occurs, will we possess the knowledge needed to continue with the lesson? Will the students learn how to write and spell correctly if never required to learn these things on their own?
The number of possibilities enabled by the existing technology advancements is endless, and we could say that nothing is impossible if we trust it. Technology is on the move. Are you ready?